I am Shazza. Welcome to my channel Hooked on Books. Today we're going to be playing Book Roulette. This is one of my favourite videos to make. What the hell? Sorry, I'm just wondering why the little ball that rolls around has suddenly stopped moving. There we go. What the hell? What's going on? Hello? Yes. It's fine, it's working. This is a video in which I use this roulette wheel to decide upon a book to read every month. Last month we landed on this bad boy, Charles Bukowski's The Pleasures of the Damned, and I did indeed manage to read this, and I'm going to tell you my thoughts on it. First of all, it's fucking massive. This poetry reflects the life of someone who has certainly lived. It is brutally honest, and honest to the point where it doesn't exactly reflect particularly well on Charles Bukowski's character. But that's what makes it so good. That's what makes it brilliant for me. All the bitterness and misery seeps out in this collection. It's not the kind of beautiful, flowery, nice to read poetry, no. It's blunt, it's gruff, it's grim, it's raw, and to say it again, honest. With a collection this size, there's always going to be some duds in there, and there definitely was for me. To be perfectly honest, the collection itself is a bit shite. It's just kind of thrown together in my opinion. There's no context, no introduction, no order, and I would rather it was a little bit more organised. You know, if there was an introduction, or if it was split up by themes, or if the poems were split up by chronologically by the time in which they were written, but there was none of that. It was literally just poem after poem after poem after poem. That meant for me I just didn't get a huge amount out of it, and I feel like overall I don't know if there's any sort of particular poems that I can say that stood out in here. I definitely have a lot of pages sort of folded and some bits and pieces that I've underlined. But overall I can't say, oh, I particularly love this poem or I particularly love that poem, because it just, where am I going to find it? Because there's no order to it whatsoever. So I would have liked some kind of order with it. The poetry itself, some of the way he writes poetry, I like a lot of the ones that were sort of story based, and it made me want to read some of his novels, so Ham on Rye, or I think there's another one, The Post Office. Those two have kind of stood out to me. So I would definitely like to read his novels because I like the sort of storytelling aspect to the poetry. I also like some of the sort of heavier emotions and darker sort of topics that are in here. And I like the general grimness of it because you don't tend to get that much, I feel. I feel like a lot of stuff that you read in poetry, if it's talking about sort of darker things, they talk about it in a sort of beautiful way almost, whereas this is just saying it like it is, and I kind of like that. So I like some of the poetry in here, but I wouldn't necessarily feel the need to pick this up again and read it. I think I would have done better if I had a smaller collection of his poetry, because I don't really think that this publication has done him any favours. I think in fact it's probably done him a bit of a disservice, but yeah, I'll pick up some of his novels at some point, and I guess all in all it was alright like. So now that we've got that out of the way, let's play So last month I played Book Roulette twice in one video, and that's because the first book that we landed on was on one that I had already read and didn't fancy reading it again. I feel like ordinarily I would have played again in this video as well, because we've landed on a colouring book and not an actual like proper book to read, but my reading month is going quite badly, so I feel like this is probably a good one to land on. So rather than reading a book this month, I'm going to be colouring this book in instead. So this is indeed the classic comic book colouring book. So we've got the covers of some different classic comic books, and I'll be colouring them in. So that'll be fun. What I might do is listen to some audiobooks as I do this, And I'm not going to say that I have to colour absolutely everything in this book. I think if I say that if I do at least 2 of these, then that should count. I love that I just kind of make the rules up as I go along, but yeah, just roll with me. So that's what I'll be doing in February, colouring this bad boy in. The adult colouring book craze kind of came about several years ago. It's died away a little bit, it's still there, and I'm kind of happy to revisit it because I did get this sort of a few years ago, so that's what I'm going to be doing this month. Anyway, thank you for watching, guys. There is one thing I just sort of want to say, and that is recently a couple of people have given me little shout outs on their videos, and I'm just like so grateful and humbled by it. Like, just every time it really surprised me and really shocked me, and I was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe people are actually like talking about me in their video, what the hell. So it freaked me out a little bit, but I was very, very appreciative. So I just want to say thank you to the people that have done that. I'm going to leave some of the channels of the people that have done that just down below. So if you haven't already checked them out, definitely do. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you again next month when I will be talking about this book or just in my next video in general. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you again soon. Bye. Excuse me.